Welcome, everyone. I am Tracey, the Sacred CEO, and welcome to Life After Divorce Show, the number one show dedicated to having the discussions concerning marriage, relationships, heartbreak, love, and life after divorce. I wanted to come to you today and speak about divorce survival. Divorce survival. How do we reclaim ourselves after divorce? Okay. Reclaiming ourselves after divorce can be very challenging. You begin to lack confidence. You don't trust yourself like you did before because you're trying to figure out where did you miss the mark in the relationship? Where, especially if you have trauma betrayal, maybe there was, trauma or betrayal of, you know, your mate cheating for a long period of time and you're just now finding out, or, cheating with your sister or your brother and, or, these children out of wedlock that are, past the age of 5 or, even just having a newborn baby or anything. Those type of betrayals can hit you so hard. Just the betrayal in my case, it was a betrayal of consistency in lying, outright lying about what my ex could do, how he could perform, and what he could provide to the marriage. I didn't trust myself because I'm looking like, well, how did I get here? Why didn't I see the signs? With betrayal, like trauma betrayal, many times you don't necessarily see the signs. You may be so caught up in your life and what you have going on as a wife, as a mother, being, employed, being maybe an entrepreneur or a career woman, or, you might have so many other things going on in your life, such as volunteering and in organizations and things of that nature. And you have so much going on, including being a wife. And if you are a mother that maybe sometimes we didn't even pay attention. Like the signs didn't hit us until later when we actually sit back and we're like, wow, this happened. This happened. I remember this day. I remember this phone call. I remember hours upon hours when I couldn't contact, my person, the husband, the wife, whatever. I remember my mate, my lover. I remember those times, but that usually takes some getting out of your current routine with being a wife and sitting back after the betrayal. And then what happens is we go hard on ourselves and we begin to blame ourselves for missing certain signs in the marriage. We begin to blame ourselves and think, where was I? Was I not present? What was going on with me that I missed this? Well, in my case, I seen signs early and I did ignore some of them and helped to create excuses for the red flags. I seen signs early. I don't personally know if I experienced infidelity with my husband. I know I experienced infidelity with previous relationships, but with my ex-husband, I don't know. There could have been some infidelity, and I could have been so caught up in my world of running businesses and being a wife and making sure, I had payroll and all these things that I totally may have missed, some things where infidelity was present. I know there were definitely inappropriate phone calls that were going on because I would walk in on some of them, right? And it would be like, oh, it's just my friend, or oh, honey, she wants some jewelry and this and this and that. And it was just like at 2 in the morning. You need to be in bed with your wife. You having phone calls at 2 in the morning. So all of these things play a part in where we feel we missed the mark. And a lot of times we lack our own self trust. We lack our own navigation. We lack the confidence in trusting ourselves and us even knowing what to think, what to look for, and what we're even capable of picking up now that we are living a life after divorce. So many times we're unsure of ourselves, right? So divorce is one of those things that are isolating. It can be most isolating. It is unraveling. That's what I was talking about just a few minutes ago about the unraveling of how you have to sit back and you have to analyze what things have taken place and what happened and things that we've missed. It can be extremely confusing experience, and as well as, you know, just destabilizing you. I know for me, when I began to make my move to leave the marriage, I was so high in my anxiety. My parasympathetic nervous system was shot, right? And then when I finally removed myself from our home and our marriage, my mind, body, and everything shut down. I was totally destabilized. I could not think properly. I could not get into a conscious alignment. I could not, it's like I couldn't feel. It's like my body went into a survival mode of numbing itself, just totally destabilized. I couldn't wake up and do normal hygienic self-care routine. Not saying that, I didn't like falter on taking showers or baths or brushing my teeth, but getting up and just making myself presentable for the day. I didn't have that energy. My energy was totally depleted, mentally, emotionally, and physically done. Stick a fork in me. I was done. If I was a computer, you can say my system had crashed, right? So I need to let you know that millions of women have survived divorce. They've survived it and they're going through it alongside that with other women who also have experienced similar divorce in the proceedings in the court and the visitation of the children, the splitting of property, and all of that can just be a massive amount of stress, and all you desire is relief. All you desire is release. So, what if I told you that you can fortify your journey with the insight of those who have already traveled this path? I'm going to give you some strategies at the end of this video where you can take these and use them and give yourself time to just start implementing them back into your life so that you can feel whole, so you can feel comforted, and you can feel confident again. You are not the only one that broke up with someone. You are not the only one that's experiencing heartbreak, right? Love and heartbreak, unfortunately, go together like peanut butter and jelly. Love and heartbreak is like peanut butter and jelly. Unfortunately, you can't have one without the other. There is a quote that says, to love is to have never loved at all, meaning that heartbreak is a part of it, right? And we don't want to look at that. We don't want to face that, right? So some of these divorce strategies that I'm going to share with you will hit home. Some may even surprise you, right? That you like, wow, I didn't even think about that. Okay. So let's go into some important things to remember before, during, and after divorce. So you deserve to be treated with respect and, truth be told, to live without fear in your marriage. Okay. So if you're contemplating and you're trying to figure things out, you deserve to be treated with respect. And just because we understand and know that our mate may be experiencing trauma, it does not justify toxic, abusive behavior. And that's one of the reasons I had to leave my marriage, because my ex-husband was experiencing trauma, childhood trauma, um, death trauma, trauma from a death of a very, of a very close family member. And those traumas that were impacted and unresolved caused toxic behavior and anger towards me. Right? So just because a person is experiencing a traumatic experience, that does not justify toxic behavior. You are still responsible. Your mate and lover is still responsible for their behavior and the corrective course it takes if they get out of line in their behavior, or if they show signs of disrespect and toxic behavior. There needs to be course correction. And love comes with apologies and actions, changed behavior, right? So don't ever lose your self respect. Trust your feelings. Okay. Some, we're in relationships many times with narcissists who gaslight and stonewall, and it will make you question yourself. It will make you question your mental stability. It will make you question your sane faculties. You'll be asking yourself, didn't I just say, I know he just said that. I know he told me or she told me that they were doing X, Y, and Z, and now they're telling me they did not say that. It will make you feel very confused, and you'll begin to question your own sanity. And if they recognize you are questioning your sanity, they play into that and use that against you and be like, yeah, I told you, you've been tripping lately. I don't know what's going on with you. You need to go see a psychiatrist or something, baby. You need some medication. They'll make you feel worse because all of that justifies their behavior in manipulating you, right? So always trust yourself. You are not going crazy. They are definitely helping you to feel confused by the manipulation and the head games that they play, but you are not going crazy. Trust your feelings, what you heard, and what you saw. Okay? You are valuable and you deserve to live the life that you choose, with or without a partner. As long as it's in line with self respect and respecting the marriage, and you're not causing any harm to yourself, your family, your husband, right? You're still honoring your marriage. You deserve to live your life. If you deserve to learn a new language, right? You deserve to go back to school, right? You deserve, if you deserve to go on a yacht experience, you deserve to have those life experiences and live the life you choose. And don't allow anyone to tell you you can't do it. I remember I had shared with my ex-husband how I truly wanted to go to Africa. And it was some projects that I wanted to do in Africa. And I remember, he was seeming like he was supportive and everything. And when it came time for me to go to Africa, he straight up told me, you're not going to Africa because you're not going without me. Now, this is me. I have financed 1, 2, 3, 4 trips out of the country. I have financed 4 trips out of the country for both of us, right? So, that's me. I love in a way where I have no problem sharing my resources if I love you. Okay. How that's a whole nother uh video. about how, over giving in the art of giving and reciprocity. That's another video. However, I felt like, okay, I wanted to have these life experiences. I wanted to travel to Cuba. I wanted to travel to Negril. I wanted to travel to the Bahamas. I wanted to have these travel experiences. And I didn't want to reduce my travel experience because my ex-husband couldn't afford it. Okay. Or couldn't, provide anything in order for us to have this travel experience, in order for me to have this travel experience. And of course, him being my husband, I'm going to include him, right? Let's have a great time, honey. Let's create some beautiful memories, right? Well, I remember wanting to go to South Africa. In my one of my then mentors and coaches was going, and she kept saying, you have to come, you have to come, you have to come. And I kept saying, I'm going, I'm gonna make it happen, I'm gonna make it happen. And I remember as soon as I was making it happen, and I sat down and I was so excited, and I was telling him about, I'm going to Africa, I'm going to do this, do that. I'm thinking, I have an ally, right? That he's going to support me, because all the way up to the time he was supporting me. Anyway, he, played like he was supporting me. I don't know what he was feeling, but obviously with some jealousy and some insecurities there. So I sat down and was like, honey, I really want to go to Africa. He sat me down and said, you ain't going to Africa. I said, what do you mean I'm not going to Africa? You're not going to Africa. If I'm not going, if you're not taking me, you're not going to Africa. And I thought to myself, how selfish is that? How selfish is that? That if I'm not, and he didn't say if I'm not going or we can't go together. He said, if you're not taking me, letting me know you've got comfortable with me financing the travel. You've got comfortable with that. If you're not, I said, so why do you feel you have to go? Why do you even feel why do you feel you have to go? You don't, you're, this is a girl's thing. This is, we're going to take care of some projects and do some humanitarian work. This is what this is about. This is all females. Why do you feel you need to go? Well, then you're not going. And I thought that was so selfish. It was very controlling. And he brought up the subject of him protecting me because I was going to be way across country and he wasn't there, and he was scared and about me leaving that far. Okay, well, some of that could be true, but overall, in essence, to tell me I'm not going and not explain that first, or honey, I really don't feel comfortable with you going that far. I'm not there with you. I feel like I need to protect you. I trust you, and I do want you to experience a great time, honey, but I just feel uncomfortable. Is there any way you can make me feel a little more comfortable so that I can, 100% agree with you in going, because right now I don't feel comfortable. That's how you should have came to me. But instead to just tell me I wasn't going because I wasn't taking you, let me know the vibration and the whole intent by you saying that, right? So live your life that you choose to live. Live your life, what brings you joy. You should always be living a life that brings you joy within the marriage and outside of the marriage. You are right. You deserve to be happy. Listen to your gut and then create a coalition of support. If you can't find any type of reconcilable differences, create a coalition of support. Supportive family, supportive friends, a therapist, a counselor, things like that. Be sure that you understand this is about your happiness. Understand he's no longer an ally when you choose divorce. If you are choosing to divorce, or if you are post divorce, he's no longer an ally. Very few can divorce and still remain friends, good friends, close friends. I'm one that loves blended families. I love when we all can be mature and continue to be friends, even if it didn't work out, right? Get organized. Take practical steps from the beginning. You want to take practical steps. You don't want to overwhelm. You don't want to overdo. Get your affairs in order prior to filing. If you're choosing to file, get all of your stuff set up in order. I started shutting down bank accounts. I started moving money. I started doing a lot of different things before once I decided that I was leaving, before I even really expressed that to my ex-husband, I started moving things and doing things. I started putting things in motion and setting up my exit, right? So get organized, take practical steps, get your affairs in order, find housing. That's going to be very important if you're not going to get the house, and make sure to get rid of all belongings that are not serving you. Okay, get rid of, especially if you're moving out, if you're moving into another place like I did. I moved from a 7 bedroom, 5 bathroom home into a 2 bedroom apartment. It was the sweetest, cutest little peaceful apartment, honey. You talk about somebody slept good and found peace. I found peace in my 2 bedroom apartment, but I also had to get rid of a lot of things because coming from a 7 bedroom, 5 bath house, I can't take all that into a 2 bedroom apartment. So I had to start getting rid of things ahead of time. Remember, while you're going through it, I said this, I'm saying it again. He's no longer your partner, your ally, your trusted friend. You have to verify everything. Everything that he's telling you, if you guys have agreed on a divorce, you got to verify. You got to verify what he's saying, because I know my ex-husband said he did this, did this, did this. As I went to verify, did none of it. Did none of it. Said he paid the gas bill. Gas got shut off. Here I am in my 50s and my gas getting shut off. Like really? Said he paid the bill. Then he's looking at me and he's mad because I won't pay the bill. Then he went out and told everybody how I had him in the house cold, but I ended up paying the bill because I needed to do a retreat because he didn't pay the bill. But then I ended up paying the bill anyway because he was in this house cold. I had heat in my apartment because I had already moved. I had heat in my apartment, but he wanted to stay in the house but couldn't maintain the house. So I had to start setting up things, and it was just make sure that you verify what he says that or she says that they're going to do. Be sure. And also, um, if you are still in the thinking stage and sitting on the fence between leaving and saving your marriage, just be sure to exhaust all of your possibilities before actually choosing, because you never want to go out with regret. You never want to go out with regret, right? That doesn't mean holding on to you based on, those things, those attachments that you have created with them. Okay, because that's one of the things that they most definitely will use. They will use the connections of the created attachments and investments that you've made in order for you to stay. And if you're staying because of the attachments and the things that you have together, your investments, if you're staying for the investments will not bring you peace. They will not bring you happiness. So that's something you're really going to have to work out with yourself. You're really going to have to ask yourself, is it worth it? Is you staying for the investments really worth it? Like for the house, for the cars, for the stock options, for all these different investments, for the children. Some people stay until the children are old enough, to go on their own. Some people have been thinking about divorce for years and just haven't made the move because of children, right? The children oftentimes can be a weight to where you aren't capable or you don't have the option right now to move. Okay. So if that's the case, you need to still be setting a plan in action. Okay. So let's go over. And also, while you're in the stage of leaving, get counseling, get therapy. Okay. Work on being able to start clearing your head and focusing on some structure where you can take some appropriate steps to make things a lot easier. Okay, post divorce. I'm going to give you some strategies, 9 strategies right here. These are some of the things that have helped me. Number one, give yourself grace. Oh my God. you're going to have to give yourself grace. That's going to be one of the hardest things. If you're an overachiever like myself, you want to keep doing and doing and doing and doing. I'm going to give you this personal advice. Doing will not help you. You will have to just be. It's not about the do, it's about the be. You're going to have to be, and that's going to be one of the hardest things if you are a highly active individual. Okay, if you are highly active like that and you have a lot of energy and you need to move, I know for me, I needed to get that stress out of my body. I mean, I could just feel my body being tightened up all the time out of nervousness and grief and anxiety and anger. Okay, I had to go work out. After probably a few months of sleeping, I had to go to the gym and I had to work that stuff out my body. So give yourself grace. Give yourself time to grieve. The grieving process may be long. I'm still grieving and it's 2 years later. I'm 2 years post, I can't say post divorce because my divorce should have been final. I'm still waiting on some other stuff to come through, but I have left my marriage 2 years now. Okay. So I am 2 years into this and I still have days and times of grief. The grief will pass as you begin to what? Reclaim your life and reinvent your identity. So that brings me to number two. That was number one. Give yourself grace. Number two, allow yourself to grieve. Okay. Now, number three, you want to, okay, you give yourself time to grieve. Like I said, reclaim your identity. Start doing things that you always felt were important to you that maybe you couldn't do. Reclaiming your identity. Begin to see yourself with yourself, enjoying life. Don't see yourself as lonely and desperate and sad. Don't look. If you're gonna be a bad bitch, you're gonna have to be even a sad but bad. bitch. You're gonna have to step it up, right? So reclaim your new identity. Think of yourself as being this beautiful, brilliant, single woman. And if you want to date, see yourself dating and experiencing travel. See yourself in that car that you want to drive, right? See yourself experiencing coffee and lunch dates and brunches and doing all of those things. See yourself writing that book, right? Everybody has a shared experience, but a unique story, right? So even though we share or I share my divorce experience or my leaving my relationship experience or my heartbreak experience with millions of people, I still have a unique story. Okay. My story may be similar, but there's a uniqueness to it. I was 56 when I left my marriage. I was 110% in love with my husband when I left. I left my home, my big, beautiful home. Okay. And I also let go of my spa businesses. Right. So not only did I walk away from love, I walked away from my shelter and I walked away from money. Why? None of those things can bring me peace, nor were they no longer going to bring me purpose because I no longer was going to be a wife. So reinventing yourself and reclaiming your new identity is extremely important. Okay. Number four, get involved in your hobbies and volunteer projects. Get involved in hobbies, those things that you love to do that you forgot about doing, such as writing. I love to write. That's why I'm working on a book now. I'm so happy about it, right? I love to write. I love to read. I started coloring. I started coloring in my coloring book. I'm blowing bubbles, right? I want to go skating, honey. I need to be sure about these knees because you know what I'm saying. I'm 58 now, honey. These knees ain't like they was when I was a teenager, honey. But guess what? I'm gonna do it. I'm going to do it. Why? Because I'm out here in this big, old, adventurous world with so many things to do. And I will not allow myself to stay sad, stay full of grief, disappointment, and anger. I want to experience the best life has to offer for me, and I'm going to go do it. So volunteer at the women's shelter, volunteer with children with autism, volunteer with the elderly. Start feeding the homeless. Like there's so many things where people need help. You can always volunteer. That always gives you a sense of purpose, and it always gives you a sense of joy knowing that you can be there for someone else, right? Take care of your physical self. That's going to be a hard one. 5, take care of your physical self, honey. That's going to be a rough one in the beginning because I was barely making it out the bed. I go in there, take me a shower and stuff, get right back, put that body back on, baby, and get back in that bed. Fix me something to eat and what? Get back in that bed. If I did go out, I was going somewhere to go have some margaritas. But I wasn't, I thought I was looking my best. But I look back at pictures now and you could see the sadness in my eyes. You can see my glow was gone. I didn't have my glow, right? So but you have to get up and take care of your physical self. And that's one of the reasons I began. I went into prayer and I said, God, help me to manage this anger, this grief, this disappointment, this frustration. Help me to increase my confidence and my awareness around loving myself. I need help. I need help. Help me. Send your angels. My spirit team, help me. My ancestors, help me. This is your daughter, and I'm grieving hard, and my heart is broke, and it needs mending. Help me. And as I got quiet and I focused, I can feel where I was being led to eat better, start eating live foods, start paying attention to my alcohol consumption, and also to start working out. Okay. Also, being a woman over her 50s, I was experiencing perimenopause, meaning I was having hormonal issues, right? So I'm having mood swings. I'm having sometimes hot and cold flashes. I'm having these different hormonal experiences, meaning it went right into alignment with me eating more cleaner, more healthy, and also doing some strength training. Okay. I'm not big on cardio. I do a lot of toning and strength training. That helps with releasing the cortisol and eliminating, I should say, reducing, not releasing, reducing the cortisol hormone that is released when you're highly stressed and causes weight gain. Okay. So once again, take care of your physical self. Also, surround yourself around positive, helpful people, around friends that are supportive. Stop oversharing and explaining yourself to people that don't give a damn. Okay? So, and the thing about that is when you come in, when you have a very traumatic experience, such as divorce, or you have a trauma betrayal, you stay so concentrated and focused on the actual incident that happened that you find yourself, you can't come out of it. You actually trap yourself in an isolated state, concentrated and focused on this incident. So that means you keep repeating and repeating the thoughts and the thing and the event and the incident, and you're concentrating on it and what it's doing. It is taking over your identity. So we will tend to many times overshare because we're trying to get it out. You are only going to find a few patient friends that are willing to sit with you and allow you to continue to dump and share the same experience of what you've been through over and over and over. I know for me, when I have a friend that comes and they're concentrated and focused on this terrible event that happened with them, and they can't seem to find their way out, and they keep repeating it in conversation over and over and over and over. And even though I'm tired of listening to it, I automatically just start praying for them. I start praying for them as they're dumping, as they're unloading. And that part is going to happen. But be sure not to overshare with those people who don't give a damn. You'll know who they are because they'll start cutting you off. By right, and that's okay. You need to know that who's there for you and who's not, right? So surround yourself with helpful, loving, and supportive friends and people. Go into positive environments that feel really good in energy. Okay, go into art galleries. I love art. I love museums, right? If you go to the park and sit and watch the children play. The happiness and the joy on children's faces. My friend just not too long ago took me to my first Atlanta Hawks game, and it was just like all the people were cheering and happy and laughing, and just the energy was so uplifting and positive. So take yourself around supportive communities, helpful friends that can help increase a positive attitude and make you feel good, right? Just it's all about feeling good without any outside substances such as drugs and alcohol. Self-medication, in the beginning you might need a little, antidepressant, but try not to take them too long unless you have some type of um, mental condition that is and it's approved by a physician. But even in that, just be very careful of taking any type of substances that will help numb you but can become addicting, right? So helpful friends and positive surroundings. Don't trust, we're on number 7, don't rush, into a new relationship. Don't rush into a new relationship. You're very vulnerable. You're extremely vulnerable. You're missing the love that you once shared with your lover, your mate, your husband, your wife. You're missing all of that. You're missing the good times. A lot of times we can stay concentrated on the good times and forget about the bad times. I know for me, I used to have to play the whole tape back as many times as we lived in marital bliss and had such amazing times and memories and experiences. I had to play the whole tape back so I could remember the disrespect, the disregard, so I can remember the mental, the emotional abuse, the mental abuse, the financial, the lies, right? I can remember going into physical abuse where things were getting a little too touchy feely, and I became extremely nervous and scared because at that moment I didn't want to cross the line and end up on a snap series. So you got to play the whole tape back. Do not get into a new relationship trying to because when you find someone and they're making you happy and they're laughing and all of this, you're in a vulnerable state, meaning you kind of still have that hole in your heart. You're grieving. Don't find somebody else to fill the hole of where somebody else was because they're never going to be able to measure up, right? Give yourself time to have a relationship with yourself and reclaim your new identity. Reclaiming your new identity is so important. And you can't do that when you're focusing on someone else and how they're making you feel. What you're doing after divorce, you are having a new established relationship with this new identity of you. You have to give yourself grace, give yourself time to do that. Do not involve anyone else. I'm not saying don't date, don't go have a good time. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is guard your heart and your feelings and give yourself time. I know for me already it's been 2 years. And I plan on giving myself a lot more time. Why? Because now I'm so involved with myself and I love myself and what I'm experiencing so much. I personally want to be selfish with it. I don't want to share it with nobody. I don't want to share me with nobody. For one, I know how much I give and how much I share and how much I love. I love to love. So with my type of attitude and behavior and personality, I can't get involved with nobody too quick because see, I'll just be loving all on them and sharing and giving and all kind of stuff, and I'll be right back in the same situation. that I was in before. Overgiving, oversharing without reciprocity. Okay, I have to break that pattern. How do I do that? I have to have a new relationship with myself and not rush into another relationship. And sometimes it's going to be hard because you're going to feel like you're going to start feeling sorry for yourself and feeling like, oh, I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be lonely. Especially when you get over 50, you be thinking about you don't want to be lonely. Honey, look, I've had enough relationships in it and relationship experiences and good sex for me, you, and a few other people, honey. If I never have another relationship, I'll be good. Do I love relationships? Yes, I love relating. That's why I created this podcast because I'm trying to learn how to do healthy relating, right? However, I don't. I love thee more today. And if I never have another relationship, that I'll be okay. I will definitely be okay. I've experienced enough for me, honey, for a lifetime. Right? Shouts out to all those who had a relationship with me and couldn't maintain me, and we had a great time. All right, let's go. Forgive. Number 8, forgive on your own time. Do not allow anyone to force you into having being on a time limit on when you're going to forgive someone for how they may have mistreated you, or how they may have violated you in any way. Forgiveness is on your time, but most of all, forgive yourself. That's going to be the hardest part. Forgiving yourself. Yes, you deserve forgiveness. You deserve forgiveness that you didn't see the signs. You deserve forgiveness that you overgave, overshared, and feel like you overloved. You deserve forgiveness for some of the things you may have done that violated your moral code based on loving someone else. We've all done it. We've all done it. We're all guilty of violating one of our principles in loving someone else, right? Forgive yourself for that. Forgive yourself. That's where you were in your consciousness at that time. And for whatever reason, you felt like it was necessary to go against your principle to keep that love relationship alive. We've all done it, and it's okay. Forgive yourself. You are a human who was in love, okay? And you gave of yourself yet again, and it's okay. It's okay. Let's learn from it, right? All right. So forgive yourself. Number 10, consider, number 9, excuse me, consider therapy. Consider therapy. Therapy has helped me so much be able to really sort out my emotions within this big, confused emotional landscape that I was experiencing after leaving my marriage. And I'm just a big supporter and advocate for therapy, whether it be one-on-one therapy or whether it be group therapy. Okay, they actually have some free therapy for those who have experienced like domestic violence, and maybe some financial need to have financial support, and all of these things online, right? So I want you to take some time and some opportunity and to look online and look up free therapy. You might even be able to find some therapy that has fee, a sliding fee scale for you, where, based on how much income you make, that's how they can set up your payments. Right? There's ways to do it. They even have free group therapy. You might just need to get into some of these groups and start sharing some of your pain and stuff and get some support that way as well. Okay. One of our communities is the Rebirth Collective Thrive Tribe. It's the Rebirth Collective on Patreon, right? You can join right now for just $1 a month, or you can join for $5 a month and get 7 whole days for free. 7 whole days for free. So that address is patreon.com/ the rebirth collective / membership. Okay, so right here at the Rebirth Collective, sweetie, we got so much going on. I'm so proud of creating this actual membership. It's like I said, rebirth, because that's what we're doing. We're being reborn, right? We're awakening to be reborn. And in coming out of divorce can be a very confusing, depressing experience. And that's not a time to isolate and be alone. Okay. So in the Rebirth Collective, we have access to you have access to exclusive content, exclusive community chat in the Rebirth chat room, access to our once a week lives with me, early access to Divorce Cafe dates. That's where we come together as a collective, as a group in different cities for Divorce Cafe, where we can sit and talk amongst each other in person, have brunch, lunch, however we do that. It's going to be a beautiful experience. Also, I'll be reading excerpts from my book, my new soon to be released book, Faith, Courage, and a Whole Lot of Crazy. You also will get access to exclusive book signings and more. So, also, if you want to join our community, just be sure to, click the links in the links here on YouTube and you can join. So thank you so much. I am Tracey the Sacred CEO. I appreciate you coming and listening to Life After Divorce show. And remember that you are worthy of happiness. You are worthy of love. And most definitely, you are worthy of faith and purpose after divorce. Peace and blessings. Check us out at lifeafterdivorce.com.